Okay, I'm ready to get underway, and hopefully you are too. Welcome to our webinar today, Sales Essentials for Sage ERP, for Sage Summit and beyond. xkzero is our company. By the way, Sage Summit coming up next month in our hometown of Chicago. You'll find us there as a sponsor in booth 305, and we certainly hope that you'll come and spend a little time with us while you're in Chicago for Sage Summit. My name is Paul Ziliak. I'm co-founder of xkzero. I will be your presenter today, and I'm here to give you hopefully some keen insights on the kind of things that are moving companies and their sales and delivery organizations to mobile technology integrated with their ERP systems today. It's a specialty of ours. It is a force in the marketplace that has really taken hold, and the momentum is gaining and gaining to the point where we think that this has now become essential technology for companies that hope to be competitive in the marketplace. So a little bit first, in terms of background for us as xkzero, we have a fairly unique place in the market. xkzero we founded as a brand in 2009, and at that time when we founded the company, we served as a Sage VAR. We were a Sage reseller business, reselling Sage 100, Sage 500, Sage X3. A real strength in our company was development and being able to handle enterprise caliber challenges with ERP systems. And back in 2009, we set out a couple of goals for ourselves. We wanted to create something great, and we wanted to do something that we felt nobody else was doing quite right in the market. And so what we did in 2012 is we shifted our focus for xkzero entirely to mobile solutions and other kinds of high technology solutions for the Sage ERP systems. And that has us where we are today as like I say, a uniquely qualified developer of mobile solutions for the Sage marketplace that's delivered to you by people who've walked the walk in terms of Sage system integrations and with years and years of development experience as well to really put together highly focused, streamlined solutions that are built for your Sage ERP system. So we're going to take a look at a couple of products in our portfolio today. I'm giving you a little preview right now of a little rebranding that we're doing at xkzero. We'll be unveiling that at Summit, new website, new logo, and so on. So with our iSales product, we're going to be positioning that as a salesperson essential tool for those who use Sage 100. And then a product that we call xkzero Mobile Commerce, we're positioning as a go-to product in the Sage world for companies who have route sale, direct store delivery type needs, companies who need to get products in the hands of their customers, and they typically do that with their own fleet of vehicles. But first, I'd like to talk a little bit about the importance of mobile in the workplace today. And let's start with the point of reference of that mobile plays in our personal lives. See, these days now, 90 plus something percent of us carry a smartphone around with us. And if you're like me and everybody else that I know, the things that you have on your smartphone are the things that matter to you, things that you love the most in your life. And it could be, photos, Facebook, texting with family and friends, your music, all of those kinds of things, social media. We check the weather all the time. So, these are all day-to-day things that are most important to us, and we wouldn't live without them at this time in our lives to be able to have quick access to people, to be able to communicate with them, to be able to understand something better, in our personal lives. And so in business and everywhere we go, people have this technology, right? But one of the things that might ring familiar for you in business is that, unless it's email and maybe calendar type stuff, we don't have a whole lot of connection with our business data to be able to serve customers, to be able to take action, to educate ourselves, to be able to educate other people, to make our business lives better and to make our interactions with other people more meaningful. So most of the smartphone and tablet technology for most of us is being used in our personal lives, but not in business. And nothing could be further than the truth about that when it comes to sales reps. If we think about outside salespeople and outside delivery people, these are two groups of people who are responsible for growing the revenue and hoping to increase the profitability for the businesses that they represent. Yet through this entire era of PC-based accounting software that we've had over the last 30 years or so, these are the people who've probably had the least direct benefit of all of these integrated systems. In fact, we have sales and delivery people who are still relying on the printed product catalog, the price sheet, a mobile phone, God forbid a fax machine, but I've got evidence that there are a lot of businesses who are still using fax machines to quote unquote speed up their process. And maybe some of you even have an order form that pulls out of a catalog and you expect somebody to fill out a postcard and mail it into your company. So these are tools that are still very widely in play, but the question that I have is, are these the tools that are essential to growth? And if you were starting a new business today that was a manufacturer or a distributor, are these the tools that you would equip yourself with to be competitive in the market? Now, mobile is not new for sales and delivery types of activities. In fact, it's been around for almost the duration of the PC-based accounting software era. But the thing is, it's really been more focused on certain types of industries. You know, wine and spirits, some medical supplies, uniforms, service technicians, things of that nature. But the problem that they've had is those are companies who have invested millions of dollars in some cases on technology using expensive hardware that's hard to replace and is also not very smart and not very connected to the ERP. Well, the new reality for mobile sales and delivery is that virtually any industry is in play. This is a slide right here that's probably about 2 years old, and the number of industries that we've had the opportunity to serve over the last couple of years on top of this has just exploded. So what we're seeing is now with a whole different kind of technology available to us, namely smartphones, iPhones, Androids, tablets, and so on, is people are seeing how reliable, how supportable, how relatively inexpensive those devices and the solutions are, and how widely available the internet is to be able to really make productive mobile selling a reality. So here's some of the benefits that these companies are experiencing. You know, mobile sales can help your company grow and profit, and they do it by doing some really straightforward things, like being able to sell when the customer is ready, accelerating the delivery because you've got an entire supply chain that's being sped up, accelerating the cash flow into the business. So serving the customer more on their terms. And isn't that the world that we live in now, right? The customer wants to be able to get the information that they have, be able to place an order, buy something, and receive it on their time frame. That's really an expectation that we have in business today. But on top of that, there's back office improvements too. Elimination of redundant tasks, improving accuracy, and maybe most important of all, gathering new intelligence to create a whole new level of confidence for your outside representatives. So, new reality for sales means that we can equip our sales reps, we can equip our delivery drivers to allow them to enable route selling, direct store delivery, taking of orders at trade shows, on showroom floors, at special events, at a parts counter, maybe even a repair bench, hotel, cafe, anytime, anywhere. And so a lot of this is new, but a lot of it's changing fast. Like I say, the numbers of industries, and by the way, about 5 minutes before I started this presentation, a cigar distributor just made the commitment to purchase our iSales product. And that company, like 90% of the companies that we're working with, they're replacing previously manual processes, and they're doing it now with their smartphones and their tablets. So about 90% of the deals that we're doing are new. But I'm saying that because we're still very much on the one hand, on the leading edge of things, but the rate of adaptation for mobile is increasing so fast. I'd like you to think, and the majority of folks on this call are Sage business partners. There are some Sage end user customers on here, but most of you here are Sage business partners. And I've been putting these kind of systems in Mass 90, Mass 200, Mass 500 since the early 1990s, long enough ago that when we first started putting these systems in, we were replacing paper-based ledger systems and giving people computerized systems for the first time. Now, on the one hand, there was certainly resistance that people would have internally, people who didn't want to learn a new technology, and there's no doubt that that happens with mobile sales today as well. But one thing all of those companies have in common is that none of them ever went back to paper-based systems once they went to a computerized system. What they did do is they shifted their focus for more refinement, creating even better processes, maybe even having to ditch the first solution that they did to find something that might be more appropriate for them. But nobody ever went from a paper-based accounting system to a computer-based accounting system and then went back to paper. And the same thing is happening and will continue to happen with mobile sales and mobile delivery. Once you make the switch, you are there. So the question is, when's the time going to be right for you? Only you can answer that one. Okay, so next I'm going to go through and talk about our portfolio of products, but not just talk about the products, but I want to help give you an understanding of where they fit, the kinds of things that we're doing with those solutions, and I want to spend a good amount of time giving you a sense of the types of businesses that are adapting mobile. Hopefully that will help you get a better handle on the types of businesses that you can influence and have thinking about mobile. Or if you're an end user, maybe you can see some of the problems that you might be experiencing yourself being solved by others who've gone to mobile. So first we're going to start with xkzero Mobile Commerce. And so xkzero Mobile Commerce automates route selling and direct store delivery. Now, this is typically for companies who have their own fleet of vehicles. So companies if you commute to your office every day, there's no doubt that especially if you live in an urban area or even if you live in a rural area, that you're driving down the street or you're driving down the highway and you pass or you get passed by a bread truck or a beer truck or an energy drink truck or somebody who's got frozen foods or a milk truck or something like that. But also electrical supply, industrial supply, all these types of things. These are vehicles that are loaded up with the products from their own company, and the drivers of those trucks are either selling off the truck, that's called route selling, or they're delivering pre-existing orders and they need to get some proof of delivery and complete the transaction and so on with that. So those are the types of companies that xkzero Mobile Commerce, or XMC as we refer to, serves. So food and beverage is a huge part of xkzero Mobile Commerce, right? So beer, wine, and spirits, carbonated beverages, these are best served industries for mobile route sales and mobile delivery. Bread and bakery products, milk and dairy, ice cream, frozen products, energy drinks, as I mentioned, coffee, water, ice, pizza, salty snacks. These are the most common types of products that get either sold off the truck or delivered into retailers. off of the trucks. But it's not limited just to food and beverage, though I need some better imagery for that. Petroleum distribution, you'll find all across North America. There are independent petroleum-based distributors, other kinds of automotive supply companies, electrical supply companies, really industrial supply companies of just about any type. It could be medical, it could be doors and windows and things of that nature. So, it's hard goods too. These are industries that have their own fleets of vehicles selling off the truck or doing their own deliveries. Okay, so there's a redundant slide, so we're going to skip that one. Right, benefits, especially if we think about food and beverage. Grocery Manufacturer Association says 25% of the grocery products, right? So if you go in your grocery store, about a quarter of all products get on the shelves because a driver put them there, okay? But this is really important to note that 52% of store profits, according to a Grocery Manufacturer Association survey, come via the DSD products. So the retailers, the restaurants, the grocers who receive these products, they love companies who deliver their own because those are the higher profit items. But the other benefits that you get by automating this is you have the opportunity to improve merchandising and inventory control. No more out of stock situations, no more overstock situations because you've got so much more information at your fingertips. And then for the accountants and the owners, the benefits are reduced administrative costs, travel time, fuel, and so on. Okay, so a few of the types of companies that we've worked with. We've implemented mobile sales and delivery for the largest Red Bull distributor in North America. This is tied in with Sage X3. Since they implemented our route cell solution, this particular company, this Red Bull distributor, has increased their sales force by about 40%. They've gone from about 80 outside reps to 110 outside sales reps. They've added no new administrative people. They've added no new warehouse personnel in order to serve their customers. And they're also voted best-in-class technology, #1 in North America in a distributor network of about 200 different companies. We recently put in a system for a food company. This is a popular company, Kava Foods, Washington, Baltimore, and elsewhere on the Atlantic coast, who's now selling their own products. And this is a company with aspirations to go from being kind of a local regional brand to a nationwide brand into the Midwest and into California with multiple warehouses where they're manufacturing their food and now investing in direct store delivery to be able to grow that from a local brand, up to a national brand. We're also have as a client a Vancouver bakery. This is a company who actually currently is working with no ERP on the back end, but with the intention to go to Sage X3. And this is a company that just made a commitment to double the geography that they're doing. So technology is letting them do that. They previously went out with paper, clipboards, and so on, but now with the much larger territory that they're selling into, they had to invest in automation to be able to get that done. Way over on the other coast, a company that uses Sage 100, Baltimore's oldest cookie maker, so Otterbine's Cookies since 1881, and they've been using paper for all of that time, but now they're using an automated system to allow them to do route selling, to have sales history for their customers as they sell, to be able to understand seasonality for their products throughout the course of the year, through special holidays and all of those things, to optimally manage the inventory in their warehousing. We have as clients a couple of different petroleum companies. Petroleum companies have unique requirements, whether they use Sage 100 or Sage X3 on the back end, and that they have packaged products, but they also have bulk products. And management of inventory for bulk products is an entirely different type of technical and functional requirement that they have, and we're able to meet that with XMC. Then we've got hard goods too. So we're working with a company in California where we've implemented xkzero mobile commerce for the delivery of vinyl siding, doors and windows. This is going to contractors, and this is very important for them too because they can have some very dynamic change in terms of what needs to be delivered in what order depending on where contractors are at with the state of any one particular project. And by the way, this is one of several companies, clients that we have, who not only uses xkzero mobile commerce to automate the delivery, but they're using iSales for order taking while they're out in the field working with customers and prospective new customers. So a little bit about XMC and the experience, right? So we think about multiple different types of experiences that our solution has. And the first is the experience of the driver, right? So what the driver has is only their customers on their route in their territory, to allow them to better serve their customers, better manage their inventory because they'll have fingertip access to everything that goes onto the truck, everything that gets moved and everything that will come back off at the end of the day, processing transaction, reconciling payments, inventory movements, all of those kinds of things, but also intelligence gathering. We have a fully user-definable survey application to allow a user to do a survey. You can do surveys about your vehicle. Could be a safety inspection or an accident report. They could be customer surveys about merchandising, about the presence of competitors in different customer locations, or it could be a driver survey tracking things like mileage, expenses, those kinds of things. And then we have alerts and full document management built in to enhance the communication with the drivers. We also have the experience of the office worker, right? So back in the office with XMC, that's where you'll manage routes, the truckloads, what's going on to the truck, the inventory that's available to be loaded, your customers. We take certain kinds of things like pricing, units of measure, chain management, those sort of things. We have functionality that extends what's in Sage 100, that extends what's in Sage X3. And so all of that is done in a web-based management console back in the office. And then, of course, it helps the people who are responsible for the accounting of inventory, transactions, payments, and so on to be able to manage their work, their business better from back in the office. Okay, and then there's the experience of, what I'll call hyper intelligence. xkzero Mobile Commerce has a customer portal to allow enhanced communication, enhanced selling with the customer. I mentioned the survey application, so that gets built in the back office where you define the type of questions that you're going to have, where they're going to apply, right, at a user level, at an inventory level, at a customer level, at a vehicle level, and so on, and then the types of questions that you wish to ask, and then whether or not they're required or not, and if they are, on what kind of frequency. We have document management. We have full asset management. So many of these types of companies, I'll use the example of a coffee roaster or a coffee distributor. They might have equipment like an espresso machine or commercial grade grinders, things of that nature, where they provide that equipment for their customer at no charge. So what's important there is you want to know what's out at the customer site. You want to know if it's in need of a repair, if it's in need of replacement. And you also want proof that you had dropped it off at a customer site. So you're able to do those kinds of things with XMC. Also alerts and notification for enhanced communication between the driver and the back office. So, a little bit about the driver day in the life, and I'm going to run through this all pretty quickly, but I thought it might be better than doing a live demo to just show you screen renderings of how some of these things go. So XMC, we manage dynamic routes, and there are multiple different ways that a driver can be able to find the information that they're looking for. So you can sort your customers by their name, their route sequence, or the distance, or really search for any type of criteria. But what we're able to do with an integrated solution, if you think about this, is the power of having integrated ERP data with your phone, with your map, with the email, right? Peace of mind and productivity. Challenge that reps and drivers have is getting to a place by a promised time that they had. Well, if you are running late and you've got fingertip access to a phone to make phone call, and you don't have to maintain a separate address book or an email address or whatever, you've got that. And then the power to be able to do turn-by-turn directions without leaving the application can be a huge time saver, right? So then once they're with the customer, and then they've got fingertip access to really any kind of reporting that you want. So it could be detailed sales history reporting by customer, by item, by virtually any time period that you wish to define. Okay, they can see work schedules. We have task management, so you can assign them to perform certain tasks while they're with a customer. And in addition, this is where they would access surveys, documents, assets, and so on. Okay. Of course, big reason why they're out there is to do a transaction. So we have a number of different transaction types, and all of these transactions, and really everything that you're seeing, is all being driven by role-based security. So you have to have permission in order to even see these kinds of options for what types of transactions that you're able to do. But we're really automating about any kind of inventory movement that you can imagine in the sales function, including a transfer of product from one truck to another, or a swap out of product from the truck onto a customer shelf, and so on. Okay, we follow all of the pricing rules, all of the warehouse rules. You'll be able to see, as you sell, as you deliver, recent sales history. We do all kinds of cool things like color-coded transaction types. So when you're selling, it's a yellow transaction. When I'm taking a return, it's a red transaction. When I'm doing a transfer, it's a yellow transaction. So you can get signature proof of delivery everywhere that you go. So we have a guided workflow that's built into xkzero Mobile Commerce. So as you complete earlier steps, the next steps that are available to you become visible, right? So you don't even see the option to be able to print or email a receipt until after you've finished, after you've captured a signature, for instance, right? So you can define those rules and really personalize that for yourself, right? And then we have the surveys as well too. So just see more of an example of that. On the left, I've got a single customer survey there, but on this, you'll see in the middle screen, it wants to know how many registers are in the store, and you'll see that the camera icon is activated there. That means that that's a question that we had set up that says take a picture of that register, because maybe we want to see our product up next to the register. And then we have surveys for things like load requests, end of day survey, accident survey, and so on. So that gives you a little bit of better sense for that. Also, additional intelligence that the driver will have with them. So on the left, not only are they seeing all of the inventory that's on their truck, but they see how much was loaded onto the truck and how much is available. And if quantities have fallen below a certain threshold, or if I'm out of stock for a product on my truck, then that's color coded. Okay, so I've got all my deliveries and pickups. At any time during the day, I can take a look at how I'm doing in terms of summary of cash collected or checks collected or products sold, inventory moved, and so on. And all of that information then is available in detail in the back office once they've checked back into the warehouse. So a little bit more about technology for XMC. So we have out of the box integration, comprehensive out of the box integration that's built for Sage X3 and for Sage 100. We have a more limited integration that's been built for Sage 500. But then we built our integration engine in such a way that we can integrate with other popular ERPs. So if you happen to be a Sage business partner and you resell, Acumatica or a Microsoft product or something like that, you certainly can consider xkzero as an option to be able to integrate with those solutions. We have our own web services, so we've got all of our data mapped on that end to the web service. We would just need to work with you to be able to map on the other side of things to push and pull the appropriate data into the ERP. But I do want to emphasize that X3, the Sage 100, those are out-of-the-box integrations that are comprehensive at the customer level, at the item level, at the warehouse level, pricing, and so on. Right? And we're seeing more of a list of those kinds of things. And this is just an example of the kind of information that's passed back and forth between the ERPs without the user having to do anything to make that happen. Okay, so XMC is enterprise class functionality. It's currently native for iOS. One thing I want to make sure that iOS is Apple devices, right? iPhones, iPod Touches, and iPads. We have completed the development for XMC for the Android environment, but there's a lot of work to do yet in terms of QC to be able to have that done, and then to make a determination about what specific hardware will we support in the Android market. So I don't have a date yet for that. If you're interested, if you have a client or a prospect who's interested in working with Android, we'd be happy to hear from you. Certainly, specific project initiatives can help drive us toward a faster timeline with the Android. But XMC is built to be a multi-company, multi-site, multi-language enabled application. So we currently have application enablement for Spanish and for French, but we really can translate to virtually any language to really serve your drivers best. Okay, our management console that we look at is a web-based management console. It's built using Twitter Bootstrap. It has its own Microsoft SQL database, its own reports and dashboard hub, and you can run it on literally any device using any browser. This is a little bit of a dated screen right now, and this is with regards to X3, and it's showing the bit of the direction of the data flow that we have between XMC, the mobile app on the left side, our web portal in the middle, and then the ERP on the back end, right? And all of these things are set up during the installation of the system. Okay, so with XMC, you can manage routes in the ERP, whether it's X3 or 100, or you can manage them in xkzero Mobile Commerce, right? We're seeing some screenshots here from our management console, so it's from here where I'm going to do truck loading, and I'm going to indicate, am I loading orders onto the truck or am I loading items onto the truck? If I'm loading items, what's that mix of products look like? So we can define, think of it like a bill of materials or a bill of goods, a predefined list of products at certain quantities that can then be modified and tweaked at the time you fill up that truck. We have color-coded scheduling that's multi-warehouse. So if you have a rather large fleet, you'll be able to see, if we look down below in brown, 4 p.m., that's a checked out truck. Up over there in the middle column that's yellow, that's today. We've got 2 trucks that are going to be in the dock at 8 a.m. Neither of them has yet checked out, right? That's a green, so they've been scheduled. That truck has been scheduled for loading. It's not yet checked out of the warehouse. When we do check out of the warehouse, we can require a driver signature and a warehouse person signature that everybody agrees on how much product that person left the door with, whether those are pre-existing orders or just a load of products. I mentioned earlier briefly the role-based security, so access to everything in the management console and access to everything on the mobile app side of things is driven by very comprehensive, very robust role-based security that's maintained in the management console. Whether it's a survey or a transaction, we geocode everything. So you'll have accountability. Think about this one. We have a transaction type that's called no order. And a no order type transaction is extremely valuable in a route cell environment. When you go out maybe you go out every Tuesday to go see a customer. Well, if half the time you see that you're getting no order, you might want to change your schedule of frequency that you're going to visit that particular customer. Maybe you only need to go see them every other Tuesday. But think about this. When we do no order, we geocode that transaction. So what that tells you is management of a business is when they got no order, were they actually at the customer location, or were they somewhere else, like at home or 5 miles down the road, and maybe they just phoned in instead of actually going to visit the customer. So, these are the kind of technology things that can help give you eyes and ears on the street and make sure that your company is being properly represented and that your intended processes are being seen through, all of the way. So I mentioned, you could maintain routes in the ERP, but that's going to be done in a pretty static way. If you manage your routes within XMC, then you can set up a rule that says, hey, in this zip code, in this territory, in this city, in this town, in this range of towns, on this list of zip codes, whatever the case, or area codes or whatever, that this is the rule for how I determine a route. And then as you add customers into your ERP, they'll automatically be put into the appropriate route. Now you'll see on this screen, it says delivery day, and you'll see from top to bottom there, I've got Monday, Thursday, a second Friday, a fourth Friday, every Tuesday, and so on. Those are schedules that need to be, worked out and determined, and we have tools built in to help with that as well. So this is a little outtake from some custom dashboards that are built in, and we also have a custom reports portal. XMC supports Crystal Reports with that SQL database, so you can make reports of any nature that are also role-based, secured, that could be published out to the driver on the mobile app as well. So it's another strong aspect of the system. Okay, so next we're going to take a little walk through the other key product in our mobile portfolio, and that's iSales 100. And actually, you know what? I've got screen out of order here too. My apologies. So I'm going to go down one. I want to make sure that Usage business partners understand who the buyers are for a product like xkzero Mobile Commerce. So, the buyers are companies that use Sage 100 and companies that use Sage X3. We're split pretty well 50-50 on our install base between the 100 world and the X3 world. The buyers, the decision makers, are their COOs, their CFOs, their VPs or directors of sales, their managers of delivery, and their operations managers. So, if you want to be proactive in talking with your customers, these are the people in these kinds of roles. Those are the ones who you want to be focused on talking with about XMC. So then, next, hopefully I've got this ordered correctly. iSales 100, we're going to talk about next as soon as I now get past this little slide snafu. All right, here we go. iSales 100. We're seeking to create, we feel like we've created really the new standard of selling for companies that use Sage 100. Here's the target business for iSales 100. This is a Sage 100 exclusive product. So any company that's a Sage 100 manufacturer or distributor that does sales is potentially a good prospect for iSales 100, right? So if you have outside sales reps, these are the key hallmarks, right? Most of our customers are going to fall into this. You have outside sales reps. Maybe you sell at trade shows. Maybe you have a showroom floor. Maybe you have a parts counter or a repair counter. Maybe you sell at special events. Maybe you have service techs. iSales supports regular inventory items, miscellaneous charge codes, miscellaneous item codes. So while we don't do service dispatch, we don't do warranty repair or anything like that. If you've got a simple consume a part and apply a charge, and those are all codes that can be managed by Sage 100, we've got a great solution for you using iSales 100. And then here's one I'd like you all to think about, because we've got some really forward-looking customers who are doing this more and more, and that's iSales 100 as a B2B mobile sales app. And what I mean by that is, in lieu of having your customer log on to a website for an e-commerce solution, why not give your end user customers an app, and they log in to iSales 100 and they see only their customer information, only the inventory that you wish to be able to show them, and then they can conduct only the transactions that you give them permission to do. But it's a competitive differentiator. It can be very popular with some of the customers to know that they can just pull up an iPad or an iPhone and be able to do business with you whenever, wherever, and especially when they're not sitting at their desktop. Okay, so benefits of iSales 100. This is from our customers: larger orders, new revenue streams, supply chain acceleration, reduce administrative costs, improved accuracy, and more confident sales reps. That might be the number one reason that drives all of this, right? And why xkzero? Well, with xkzero, with our iSales product, we have full control of the environment. This is true with xkzero Mobile Commerce, by the way, too. So we don't outsource any development. We are the mobile app developers. We can do any development related to the mobile piece within your Sage ERP, and we also built our own web services that communicate between the mobile app and the back-end ERP. Okay, iSales is flexible and proven. It's high performance. It's easy to deploy. You can try it before you buy it, because we have a free download off of our website. And then maybe most unique of all about why xkzero is, with our iSales product, we offer a 30-day full money-back guarantee. And I don't know of anybody in this market space with any type of software solution that's offering a full 30-day money-back guarantee, but we do. So here's a quick look at some of the customers that we're serving with iSales and some of the wide range of things that they're doing with our solution. So one of our customers is the largest wholesale distributor of Indian and Pakistani food in North America. They also own the largest chain of Indian food grocery stores in North America, with about 50 stores. So Raja Foods is the wholesaler, Patel Brothers is the retail store. And what these guys started with iSales is, first they gave all their outside sales reps iSales so they could ditch the clipboard. Then the next thing that they did is they equipped all of their company-owned stores with iPad minis, with iSales, and a scanner attached to it. And they replaced a process that they had done for many, many years, where they used to walk the grocery aisle with a clipboard with all of the item numbers, and they'd indicate the items and the quantity that they needed to refill the shelves. And then they would take that sheet of paper, they'd fax it back into the office, and then somebody in the office would key that information into Sage 100. Well, these can be 100, 200, 300 line item orders. And with each of 50 stores ordering 2 times a week on average, that's 100 orders a day. So they had 2+ people full time doing that task. Now that task is done with barcode scanners, iPad mini. When they're done, when they've built the order, then they hit a synchronization button and it's sitting in Sage 100 and ready to pick. That's been so successful for them. They have saved so many thousands of hours in labor doing that, that Raja is now one of our clients who's on a campaign to get their other customers to use the app in the same kind of fashion. And actually what they're doing is they're asking their customer to buy the scanner, and then if the customer does a certain amount of volume with the scanner, then they're going to give them their money back. And we think that's pretty cool. Okay, we have another client that sells luxury kitchen appliances. They have showroom floors. In the past, when they were able to, when they were working with a customer in the showroom floor, they had no visibility to inventory quantities, availability, pricing, all of that stuff. So now they have all of that information on their fingertips in their showroom floor. We have another customer that sells medical devices in the veterinary space. And so they sell medical instruments with serial numbers on them to animal clinics, veterinary clinics, and hospitals, and so on. And these are serial numbers that exist in Sage 100. And now with the iSales product, they're able to track what was sold to who as they sell it from the field when they're at their customer sites. Okay, we have another customer who's a leader in the restaurant supply industry all throughout the Southeast. They sell off the truck. These are sales that go straight to invoices, very high volume. It's in a type of field, this is a lot of paper and plastic that they sell. They used to have a lot of disputes with customers about the quantity sold, the quantity received. So a huge thing for them was having a printed receipt on the spot with the customer's signature on it that says, yes, they did receive that product. It's had a huge ROI impact for our client. We have another client who's one of the fastest growing wine wholesalers on the East Coast, now with much more confident sales reps about the varieties that they're offering to their customers using iSales. We have another customer who has about 200,000 inventory items, tens of thousands of customers, and they're selling little decorative ribbons, tons of them, all within Sage 100. And they sell at about 7 or 8 major trade shows throughout the year. And it's very high volume. And now they have all of the access to all of those products that they sell for all of their customers at the trade show, and they're able to do business right there on the spot. We have another customer who's using iSales on a repair bench. These are customers who have products that need a repair part, and they're also charging labor for them. But the key for them is that they don't want the repair people to worry about the pricing or even see what the pricing is. What they want their repair technicians to do is pull up their iPad, pull up the customer record, indicate how much time they spent, what parts were used in doing the repair, and then in the back office, they're dealing with the pricing. So iSales 100 has control in it for who sees pricing and who doesn't. iSales 100 has control for who sees warehouse quantities and who doesn't. iSales 100 has control for who can override pricing and who can't. So we go on and on from there, but this is all checkbox level control that's very rapidly rolled out and implemented on different various kinds of customer environments. Here's one. We have a customer that sells very heavy industrial equipment. This is product that's going to be delivered using LTL. Well, what we did is we built the capability for you to be able to do an LTL freight calculation. This is tied in with Echo Global Logistics, one of the largest 3PL logistics transit companies in North America. So in order for these people to get a sale, they might have a part that's $500, but the freight on that $500 part could be $200. Well, they need to know, is it $200? Is it $175? Is it $250? It makes a big difference for them. And they're able to complete the sale on the spot by being able to quote all-in pricing. Then we have another customer who sells landscape materials, but later an installer is going to come in and put it in. What we do is we integrate with a sketch application. So as the sales rep is making the sale out in the field and building the list of all of the materials for the landscaping, what they also do is they draw a sketch of where that landscaping is going to be put in. It gives the installer all of the information that they need to be able to quote out the installation piece and for them to close that deal. iSales 100 uses best-in-class scanning and printing capability that's delivered to us through Infinite Peripherals, one of the premier providers of device accessories for Apple products in the world. In fact, they sell to Apple themselves, and you can see their products in use at Apple stores by the Apple sales reps. And then a big piece that's coming soon will be our ability to take credit cards through American Payment Solutions. We're very nearly done with that. I'm not sure if we'll have it rolled out in time for Summit or not. The key is when we roll it out, we want it to be right. In addition to taking the credit card processing, we're actually building in for iSales, we're building in the ability to do any type of payment receipt and to be able to specify that. So whether it's check or cash or money order or a credit card, you will be able to accept that and apply that to an order, invoice, and so on. Okay, so just a couple of last things to think about with iSales 100 is, to think about what you or your customer can have in your pocket as opposed to somebody else's pocket. Integration out of the box with the map, with the calendar, with the email, the ability to create transactional orders of any kind, following all the Sage 100 pricing rules out of the box. Warehouse control, so you can decide what warehouses you want to expose, whether or not you show the quantity available, the quantity on hand, and so on. So we show open order, AR invoice, open invoice detail. We support lot and serial numbers. We're barcode scan enabled. That could not be more simple in terms of being able to deploy English and Spanish language with the tap of a button, and it's all fully managed in Sage 100. There are mobile solutions that are out there that might work with Sage 100. Many of them require a middleware piece, and many of them you'll be told that it might take 2-3 months to implement. With iSales, you can be up and running the same day or the next day. We manage everything in iSales right within Sage 100. So what anyone who's already up and using Sage 100 finds is that they already know how to use, they already know how to set up a user. We just show them where the setup is for a user, and then you apply the rules. We're really not creating any new language here or any new platform that needs to be learned. So you go in, you set up the profile for a user, you give them permission for what is required from them, what they can see, what they're required to do while they're out in the field. And just like that, they can be up and running, like I say, same day or next day after we install it. Okay, and then for those of you who are Sage business partners out there, who are the buyers, right? So with iSales 100, you have to be on Sage 100. Doesn't work without it. These are the people who do the buying for iSales, owners, VPs, directors of sales, and sales managers. Those are really the key people. There might be some folks with operations that are involved, but we're really not managing inventory movements and so on like we do with XMC. So it's really it's an entrepreneur and it's a salesperson driven type thing. Accounting could be involved, but accounting is typically not terribly involved in the decision about whether or not to go with iSales. Okay, so we're just about wrapped up here. My invitation for you with iSales is, please visit our website where you can download a free trial. We don't have the same capability with XMC. That's an enterprise class solution, so you'll have to arrange, a demo for that. But with iSales, you can, if you go to our website from your iPhone, from your iPad, you can download a trial, log in. User ID is demo, the password is password. You'll actually find that in the Apple Store, when you download the app, and you'll see it on our website too. In fact, in the bottom right here, it's underneath try it yourself, under point 2 for login, it says username demo, password, password. Just synchronize the data and you can start getting a sense for a user experience. I strongly recommend that you contact us and run by your unique scenario with us, because you might be really surprised when you say, yeah, except I do this one unique thing or another, that we can have you covered. So I'm at the end here. Once again, a reminder, if you're coming to Chicago for Sage Summit 2016, we sure hope that you'll come and visit us at booth number 305. And I've seen a couple of questions that have come in so far. I've had everyone in the listen only mode, but a couple of questions that have come in. What versions of Sage 100 does iSales support? And so iSales supports versions back to 4.5 all the way up to version 2016. We support Sage 100C, right? That's the new version at 2016, the subscription only model. We support that. And we also support standard, advanced, and premium. So, all the way up to SQL, all the way up to current versions, all the way back to 4.5. Okay, another question that we have is, do we have plans to support Android? As I mentioned on the XMC side, we are planning an Android rollout with xkzero Mobile Commerce. With iSales, we will be dealing with Apple for some time to come, unless we decide to rewrite iSales. It's really kind of limited by the tools that were available when we first wrote iSales back in 2012. We can't really easily port that over to Android. Okay. So once again, Sage Summit 2016. Hopefully you'll be able to join us. We'd sure love to see you. I wish everyone a great happy Canada Day. I believe that's coming up on Friday. Happy Independence Day, 4th of July for those of us in the U.S. Hope you have a great holiday weekend. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you so much.